welcome to this edition of Business Ambassadors. I'm your host, Jackie Bell, and I am excited today to introduce to you my guest, Brian Brosmer, and he is with, he's the owner of Brosmer Photographic. And welcome to the show.
How you doing, Jackie? Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yes, I'm excited. With my preschool, we have photographers come in and do our shots for our students and things like that. So I have one expectation of a photographer that way, but then I've gotten to meet you through Noblesville Main Street, and it's kind of interesting to, I know when people were talking about you joining the board, that how personable you are and that you really get to know people. And as we've talked a little bit about your photography and the things you do, I can tell that that's something that is very important to you too, as far as not just the photographs, but also making that connection and that contact. But if you want to just kind of tell us a little bit about your business, and we'll go from there.
Well, you pointed on to a couple of good points. Connection. I mean, that's a lot of photography is making that connection with the viewer and what you're trying to do as an artist. I mean, I officially started about 5 years ago. Doing Brosmer Photographic. I've been doing a lot of freelance and stuff like that with other companies, and I decided to venture out and do more on my own. I've had a great network of other people out there helping them out, for magazines, PR companies, and stuff like that. And I just started making more of my, services available. Being a photographer, or if you're anticipating or anything like that later on, what's kind of nice is to be a photographer who listens and tries to communicate and their deals. So
right.
I think that's a good point that you brought up. So like I said, I've been doing this for a really long time. Coming into the studio, it kind of had a flashback when I started with a small, right out of college. My very first job was working with a TV station, and we were running sports, high school sports channels, and we were showing, from Southern Indiana, and Jasper just went to state, and they were showing high school, Jasper high school baseball, and that's what I would be doing, and it was very entertaining, very fun, and I had the opportunity to work with a national catalog company, and I started up. Again, this is in the '90s, so we had digital equipment, and we kind of created our first digital photo space back in the '90s, using digital cameras and doing some stuff and being innovative. And about 2000, I came up to Indianapolis, and I started doing that again, and started working with a magazine and traveling across the country for a trade mag association, and loved it until the point where I can only shoot so much concrete. But what was nice is I've had a variety of different people and product and stuff like that. It's been awesome. So
as far as like I was talking about, so I have a photographer that comes in for my student photos for spring and fall, that kind of thing. Your clients are magazines, businesses, those kinds of things. So kind of explain that. Like who would be your clients?
A lot of my clients are a lot of them were businesses or PR companies. I worked with a small PR company in Noblesville there for a while, and we would do. She would come up with a campaign. This is the campaign, Brian, we're going to do. Here's the idea. And we would collaborate artistically. And I was like, oh, this would be great. This is what I want to do. One of them was a red flag campaign with a company called Hot House, Carrie Ann's company, before she went over to Imabex. And this red flag campaign we kind of talked about, and it's like, hey, let's do these impactful pictures about domestic violence in high schools. And let's do these as black and white. We'll have a little bit of red that would be the point of anger or something, and you're looking for these red flags. And we did this whole poster campaign, and it caught wind on Fox 59 and stuff like that, and it had a lot of traction. It was really cool.
So how much the volumes that those photos could speak?
Oh yeah, and that was very impactful, and it brings you into other clients, and everybody gets to see you. I was talking about. I do. What's great about it is this community is such a great network of people. Noblesville and Carmel and Fishers and they're just a great network of people out there. And my thread has grown. So now I'm shooting in Center Grove and Greenwood. I got clients in Tennessee that I'm shooting for now.
Okay.
Illinois. I'm going all as far as Fort Wayne, because I create these relationships with people, and I think my pictures try to have some traction and speaks volumes to what they're wanting to do.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a product shot for, plastic devices, some kind of widget. Half the time, I don't even know what these things are. I have to ask them, hey, are this the right way I'm putting it? But I try to create something visual, so if there is a client trying to explain a product or sell a product, to make more visual interest than in some of the other people where
Mm-hmm.
they're like, hey, we're just going to do it ourselves. And they're like, well, we're not getting any feet, we're not getting any traction on
Mm-hmm.
sales. And then I went with one client recently, and I just talked to him today because we're going to do another shoot, and they sell aerators and stuff like that. There was a company out in Lebanon, up in Indiana, and as soon as he released the images I shot for him, network traffic increased volumes. He
Mm-hmm.
says, Brian, I did not think it was going to happen that way. Then we had industry magazines asking for our pictures so they can publish them in their network. And he goes, it was funny because it was the cover of their magazine that month. And I go, really?
See, and I mean that's pretty impressive to think about
Yes.
that, because like I keep going back to my photographer. You don't have a puppet for an aerator and say smile.
Oh no. And
You're having to do something.
and
You're
we're
going to
talk-
create this.
And a lot of this comes from conversations that we're having, and they're doing. They're like, and I have to be educated on it as well, and it's really kind of cool because I'm always learning.
Right.
I didn't really care about
Yeah, it
aerators,
sounds like
but
fun.
And what's nice is it's like with this aerator company, I go, well, who's your clients? And they're like, well, here's some of our shots before, and it's like, but who's using the product? And they're
Okay.
looking at it and they're like, well, so we made it user friendly. We
Right.
looked at
what are they looking for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your guys are white-collar guys with the polo shirts running these aerators.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your crew running them in these facilities. So we found models to fit the look. And again, it just
Nice.
it increased it because people saw the attainability. Goes, oh,
Oh,
I can use that.
That's me.
That's me. That's
yeah.
my guys.
Right.
That's my guys out there using this equipment.
Very
And
interesting.
it was really kind of cool because we try to bring that
Mm-hmm.
heartstring into it, or if it's a PR piece where you're trying to have some emotional impact, we're trying to put some, and that just comes with years of marketing, dealing with people that know the industry and listening. A lot
Right.
of it's listening. If you're a graphic designer or marketer, illustrator, whatever, it's listening to your client and trying to give them what it is.
Right.
I tell them I'm a photographer, but I'm also a brain surgeon.
Uh-oh. You're
No medical license, but
No.
I do a lot of brain surgery because you sit there and you try to listen to
Trying
them and
to
try to
pick it
figure it
apart,
out.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, it's the puppet thing. They know their clients.
you're-
They know it is.
Right.
Yeah. I've done that before. It's crazy.
It's very interesting. And if you look at the website, I think maybe were you running a little bit of the website there just a minute ago? But that's what when I knew I was having you as a guest, I went on your website and it's pretty impressive. I would strongly recommend going on there. I think it's Brosmer Photographic.com.
Yes.
But it's pretty interesting to look because you did have. I saw some of your inanimate objects that had
yeah.
had a lot of did have a lot of feel or a lot. It makes an impression.
We go through people who just need. Hey, I need a corporate shot of me sitting at Lucas Oil. This is what we do. This is the city. Things like that. And sometimes we try to, as a photographer, we make things that don't occur. In particularly, that one of the shots on there was a financial company, and you really don't see the city that close in Lucas Oil, but he really wanted this Lucas Oil, so it was like a layering of 3 shots.
Right.
And soon after that, one of the people left, so we had to take that person out and do that. It's magic.
Yeah.
I'm also a magician.
You're a magician. You're an artist. You're a designer. You're a
So-
photographer. You're a brain surgeon.
Your brain surgery, and you have to keep up
Now,
with the
but
trends.
what about food? Because then you
Food's fun.
You get to
Food is great in so many different levels.
so
Pete.
photographing food.
Food doesn't talk back to you. It gives you calories. You get to take it home sometimes, and sometimes you're like, "Ooh, I don't want to touch that because I've touched it too many times."
I don't want to eat that.
One of my stories I was talking to Jackie beforehand was I was driving down a very busy interstate, and I'm stuck there for a minute. I look up, and I always look up and find different shots, or is a billboard, and I go, "Hey, that's a good looking steak up there." Oh my God, that's my steak I shot. And I'm texting my wife, shouldn't text and drive, don't do that. But you're in stalled traffic, you got to do something. And I taken a picture going, that's my shot. And she's like, oh my God, really? And recently it happened
that's
again. Working with
That's
this
fun.
local company and stuff like that, and they like showing my stuff big, which is cool. I've never seen something
Right.
billboard size
Right,
before. And
that you've done. That's really
and
that's
yeah,
fun.
shooting food is really great.
And then we talked about motion. So you've talked about the
Yes.
different color, adding color, different things. So let's talk about this motion, because I would not have thought about that. And you think about video. I mean, if you talk about motion, I think video. But what is this?
Photographs are something I've caught on to, and I follow a couple artists and stuff like that, and they just do some magical work. And basically, you're taking stills, but you're putting some motion in it. And it's great with internet. It's great for the web. Motion as a marketer, you can have a great picture, but if you have some kind of motion to it, whether it be video or some kind of action in it, people are going to see it. We're that kind of society now, people. We really need to sit there and look at it as, the motion and feel. I do some video work, but it's more, again, trying to draw my artistic ability and techniques into that video world. But I mean, there's other people out there who do some great work, and this motion, the cinemagraphs, is something I'm kind of feeling with. I'm starting to do a little bit more of it. I've got a couple clients that we're talking to. Particularly one was the hair blowing, but it's a still. You're seeing the girl sit there, but you're looking at it going, what's moving? I'm not seeing it. And your eyes sit there and you play with it, but you got to still have that great image on it.
Right.
I've seen some liquor ads where they've done the same thing, where they're pouring the liquid, but the girl's sitting there still and holding the bottle, saying the name of the whiskey or whatever, the wine bottle.
I prefer gin. Could you have gin pouring
We can do
out
gin.
instead?
We can find some great Indiana stuff. Some great people around here that can do some stuff, I'm sure. But it's just some motion stuff. I liked some of the stuff. There's some great talent around here, and it's really kind of weird on my part anymore too. Is I'm finding one of the most kind of heartfelt and weird thing that happened to me one day is my son had his girlfriend over, and he goes, "Your name came up in class."
Oh.
His girlfriend did. I was like,
Huh.
and he was, they were giving a conversation about what you want to be and discuss it. And this one gentleman said, I want to do photography like Brian Brosmer's photography. And it just caught me off guard.
Right.
I'm like, do I
Oh.
know this kid? I didn't.
So do you know how he connected?
And he was somebody who saw my work and he started following, but I didn't really,
So he followed.
you never know who you're going to influence.
Right.
And then I with Instagram and some of these other social medias and Twitter and followings and people, you find you have a lot of connections, and this is great. And you always try to make positive connections and positive touches, and that's what I try to do.
Very
if it's
good.
educating I've had a couple kids come up recently, and it's like, what lens should I buy? I want to try to do this. What can I do? And I try to feed them off to a different website or teach them some really quick techniques and things like that.
And like I had said earlier, I got to meet Brian through Noblesville Main Street,
Yes.
and he's already made an impact there too. And you can see just with we have Townies T-shirts that
yes.
you can get that if you do a $30 donation to Main Street.
Yes.
But you prepared a little bit of some things there, and it's awesome. I love the picture of the woman with the bike and the Townie shirt, and I had to have one. So I've already got mine. I didn't buy it. I gave my donation. I got my free shirt.
What's really cool with the Townie idea is with Main Street. I kind of threw an idea out there. I was like, can I just have a couple shirts? I got a girl. I think we can do this. She is a Noblesville grad and would love to do this.
Great.
And she was, hey, I'm all for it. So we spent a good 2 hours of just shooting around town and creating these little scenes, which was really, really super. And again, it just made a visual impact. I went down to the farmer's market this weekend, and I saw that picture up there and going, yeah, it totally fit to what I needed.
Yep.
I know they're coming up.
And I was at the farmer's market selling the T-shirts.
I heard it would really well.
Must have worked.
And we're creating new social media packages out, so there's going to have these different themes. We had a lot of different Alexanders on the square helped out with a location. Vintage Guitar Shop, Center Stage gave another location.
So all these,
downtown.
like you said, all these connections, and that's awesome. And I think we may be out of time.
Yes,
so.
But again, I'm a photographer who likes to talk.
Yes,
so prepare.
But, so it sounds like hopefully we've hit a lot of things that you can, people now know that you have a lot going on if they are in need of some marketing ideas, some artistic thoughts on
Please give me
on
a
new
call, email
photographs
me,
and
website.
we have the website up there, phone number too. Is that good enough? That the 430-2605 to
Yes.
find you?
Yes.
Okay. And I thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Jackie. I appreciate the opportunity
yeah.
of coming out.
Yep.
If you guys have any other questions, or please give me a call, and I'll reach out back. Thank you.
Sounds good. And I'm Jackie with Primrose School of Noblesville. If you need any care for your children, infant through kindergarten, just give me a call also. Thanks.